Hey guys, and welcome to the video. Today we are going to be doing the top 5 watches under $200, and I have my little notebook here with all the good information I'm going to bestow upon you in this video. I have the notebook just to keep me on track so the video doesn't go on and on forever. So the first watch that I pick for the top 5 watches under $200 is the Luminox Evo Navy Seal. Its model number is 3051. It's a Swiss quartz piece, which means it's really accurate, but it doesn't have the automatic features that you would find in some of the other watches on this list. It also has a polyurethane case, making the watch very light and very durable. This is a diving watch, so it has a nice rubber strap. It's water resistant up to 200 meters or 660 feet. And it has a unidirectional bezel, which is good for timing the amount of air left on your dive. So Luminox watches have these really cool lume features. So it has tritium tubes, which are actually glass tubes filled with gas, and the gas emits a light. So on a normal watch, you set it out in the sun, and the lume coating charges, and then at night, that lume coating discharges. So if you don't take the watch out and put it in the sun for a long time, you're not going to be able to see it at night. These tritium tubes last up to 25 years, and they don't need sunlight. So that's pretty cool. If you left the watch underwater for 25 years, you'd still be able to see it, which is pretty cool. This watch is 44 millimeters, which is a little bit big, and it's also a little bit thick, but it's a very robust case. So that's kind of what you get when you make the case robust, is thickness. It comes in many colors, and it has a mineral glass, which is not entirely preferred, but at this price point, you're getting a Swiss brand, Luminox, and a Swiss quartz movement. I still think it's a really good deal. So now on to our second pick. We have the Seiko SNA 411. This is nicknamed the Flightmaster from the Urban Gentry. This is a Japanese quartz watch. Again, quartz is more accurate than automatic pieces, but it doesn't have the same level of prestige. So this watch is crazy. It has so many features. I'm going to have to reference my list. It has a chronograph, date at the 3 o'clock position. It has an outer bezel that slides around. It's bi-directional, so you can rotate it either way. And it's used for a whole bunch of pilot calculations, distance, speed, that type of thing. It has an alarm, or you could use that sub-dial as a GMT. It has a slide rule on the inside, so it goes bezel, slide rule, and then the actual watch face. And that slide rule is used for calculating a whole bunch of different things. Again, if you really want to know more about it, I would suggest Googling it. But then it also has the chronograph. So this chronograph is pretty cool. Most quartz chronographs kind of just tick with each second that passes. But this chronograph actually has a sweeping motion. It ticks multiple times per second, which is usually something only found on automatic pieces, but so that's pretty cool. And then the chronograph hand, I guess, both of them are painted yellow. You can actually get this watch in a very similar variety in red that's actually solar powered, and that model number is the SSC007. So I think if I were going to pick up either of those two watches, I would pick up the red version, but that's just because I like to be flashy. The other thing about this watch is that it has a 200 meter water resistance, and it's 42 millimeters. So again, it's kind of, I would say that's about middle of the road for watches these days, but probably on the upper end of what I would consider wearable for my tiny wrists. So up next we have the Seiko SKX 009, which is the first automatic piece. It is a Japanese automatic piece. It has a very classic design. It has the red color on the bezel from 0 to 20, and then it has the blue bezel and blue dial. Really, really iconic design. This is a dive watch. It comes on a rubber strap. You could get it on a bracelet for a little bit more. But this watch is actually over the $200 threshold a little bit. But if you find it on sale, you can get it under $200. It has the unidirectional bezel, which of course is really good for diving. This is the first watch that has the day and date complication. So you'll be able to see like Saturday the 26th or whatever, instead of just the date. So that's cool. It also is 42 millimeters like the Flightmaster. I don't really know what else to say about this watch. It's very iconic, very classy design, and I personally, I think the next watch that I would pick up would be the SKX 009. It's just a wonderful design. So the next watch on our list is the Orient Ray 2. Again, this is a Japanese automatic watch. It has the 200 meter water resistance. Again, this is a diving watch. It's a little bit smaller than the SKX 009, at 41 millimeters. Again, it has the day and date function. The tip of the second hand on this watch is red, which I think is amazing. That's just personal preference, but I love red second hands. I think it makes it look a little bit more sporty. It definitely has very interesting hand and indice designs. I know when I first saw the Seiko SKX 009, I didn't really like the indice design on that watch, but I've grown to like it. And the Orient Ray 2 is a little bit more, how do I say this nicely, unique. So if you like the styling of this watch, you can pick it up. The SKX 009 and the Orient Ray 2 are very, very similar, so that's why I keep referring back to the SKX 009. The Orient Ray 2, however, has a 120 click unidirectional bezel, and so what that means is it'll actually click 120 times as you rotate it all the way around, so you can set it at half-minute positions. I'm not sure if you can do that with the SKX 009, but I did check my Christopher Ward, which is a watch that's about $900, and it does also have the 120 click unidirectional bezel. So I think that is a feature that's probably undervalued or overlooked, but it definitely earns points for the Ray 2. So the final watch in our comparison is the Orient Bambino V3. This is also an automatic watch. It's a little bit smaller at 40.5 millimeters. I would say this is probably about the sweet spot for smaller wrists like mine. It does have the date complication at the 3 o'clock position. It doesn't have any lume, which is pretty common for lower end dress watches. The one thing I would say that's bad about this watch is that it has a domed mineral crystal. I would have at least liked to have seen a Hardlex crystal, but of course you can always change that out on your own. And this watch, being a dress watch, only has a water resist level of 30 meters, which Orient says is not suitable for swimming or the shower, but it is suitable for rain or, splashes from doing the dishes. So I actually own an Orient Bambino. I believe I have the version 2. It's a pretty great watch, and it has the automatic sweeping seconds as the watch ticks, which is pretty amazing. So I think that pretty much wraps up our list here. We have the Luminox 3051, the Seiko SNA 411, the Seiko SKX 009, the Orient Ray 2, and the Orient Bambino V3. So really this is a very widespread list. There are a whole bunch of different watches that serve a whole bunch of different functions. We have divers, we have a chronograph, we have a dress watch, we have the aviation watch, which is also the chronograph. So I think it covers pretty much the whole gamut of watches. I guess, we're kind of missing a racing watch, but you could kind of call the chronograph a racing watch. That's the cool thing about the SNA 441 is it serves many different purposes. So we hope that this video has been helpful to you. And if you want to purchase any of these watches, we have links in the video description down below. Yeah, if you liked the video, leave us a like. If you hated it, leave us a dislike. And we will see you next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.